What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Piles Customs Garage. Today's episode, we're going to be disassembling the 8-inch and start the rebuild of completely doing a full makeover on this Ford 8-inch. So if you're not aware, this Ford 8-inch came out of my 1964 Fairlane that I'm currently rebuilding. As far as upgrades, I have to narrow it to fit the wheels and tires I want to fit. I got to get narrowed probably about 1.5 inches on each side. I have a full quick performance posi track and 380 ring to pinion gear ratio, a full master bearing rebuild kit, everything for this rear end. So this rear end is going to be pretty stout. I'm not going to be pushing a whole lot of power. When I say a whole lot, probably like mid threes, low to mid threes to the wheel. Enough to, for stoplight power in that car. It'll be fun, but nothing too crazy. So I'm not really worried about snapping anything just yet. I may upgrade axle shafts. I don't know yet. I may upgrade to some Yukon ones that are better material, a lot more sturdier, but I haven't fully decided yet. I'm not going to be running a manual transmission in this car, so I don't really have to worry about intense wheel hop. It's going to be a AOD, automatic overdrive, so it should be pretty smooth for the most part. I'm obviously going to upgrade the bushings and the leaf springs. I am running stock leafs. I know a couple people that run stock leafs that make or have the same engine buildish that I do, so they don't have any problems, so I don't think I should have any problems, but knowing my luck, I may. So I may have to upgrade to those Caltrack monoleafs, but we'll see. That's later down the line. I do have some Lakewood traction bars as well, the old school slapper bars. I think look awesome, way better than those Caltracks, but if I have to get Caltracks, I will, but I'm trying to keep that old school look. But enough of me talking. Let's get this thing disassembled. I was struggling to get these bolts off or these nuts off the U-bolts because I was using that Magnetic. Good old Milwaukee gets her done. Got that side, which is the passenger side leaf spring off. Now these two right here, these two bolts are basically have just welded themselves over time. As you can see, friction welded themselves to the actual threads. So we're just gonna cut the U-bolts. Oh, one's already cut. Nice. Should I do the other side and just bring them out this way. I did save the two good U-bolts in my bin of parts and bolts and stuff, which if you're doing a build, I highly recommend bagging every little part and bolt and stuff like that. And you can remember everything, even if it's broken, that way you can, when you get a replacement, you can verify that is the correct part. But I did save these U-bolts, that way I can go to the hardware store and get some new ones. All right, we got both leaf springs off. We're gonna plasma cut that drum off because it's stuck. So we're gonna bring it back in the shop, do the old zip, 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 take it off, and should be able to pull the axle shaft out.
Open the axle up.
All right, I just on the last flip, got the axle shafts out and the axle ends disassembled. Now I'm gonna start cracking the third member, kind of see what we're working with inside as far as the actual center piece. But right now, got one off. Wasn't too hard, but this one looks a little stripped. Maybe, not stripped, but rounded off. Let's see if I can get a socket on there. Oh, no, oh, there he is. Okay, maybe I can't get a socket on there. There's the tag too. I don't know if that's savable, but it'll be a new ratio anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. That's a lot filled up. Holy cow. Time to crack this thing open.
Look at that.
Like, we definitely weren't beating on it before.
No.
That's money, dude.
Hey, did I tell you that, speaking of money, dude, Stale Cracker's hair is real?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Third member is out. We're now using the old heat method on the pinion nut. Then once you get that off, you can start disassembling it, then cleaning it up. You think this housing is safe to sandblast? Like the back right here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Probably take
Clean it real good.
the brittle disc.
Brittle disc. Yep.
Disc. And knock some of that grime off, as well as the sandblaster. Then probably just, I won't get it too shiny because I'll once I bolt it on the actual axle, after the axle has been all cleaned up and everything, I'll just paint everything black. All right, you see, the pinion is out, as well as the yoke and that piece. I don't even know what you call that. What would you call that? The yoke butt?
The piece right there.
Yeah, so that piece right there, whatever that piece is. 5/8. Try to get these caps off. That was a whole lot smoother than, well, those are locks for the shims.
Well, the adjuster wheels.
Yeah, adjuster wheels. In school we learned that they were called shims. Yeah, they're probably right. Probably half. Did I just break? Oh no,
No, it's just short.
Oh, easy. Is this organization called?
Disorganization.
Yeah, I can remember which cap's which.
Mm-hmm. Which cap is which?
That cap.
Your master kit should come with new races.
Yeah. Forgot to film this last night because my phone died, but the third member is completely assembled for the most part. I just have to disassemble this piece right here with the seal, and there's a bearing in there. But like I said, for the most part, everything is disassembled. So I will not be using the pinion. I have a new pinion. I have a new ring gear. This is a 3/0 flat gear ratio, 39 teeth, 13 teeth, divide 13 by 39, 3/0 flat. I'm going 380. I will not be using the spool. This is a fully open spool. I have a Yukon posi track, true posi track. I will not be using any of these hardware for the actual ring gear on the spool or locker, because it comes with new hardware from the Quick Performance Kit, which I'm going to show you all that stuff in a second anyway. Then I am going to be reusing this whole piece. It did come with new shims. I got to reuse the yoke, the hardware as well. Came with a new nut, and I got to reuse the caps and the actual spinnies. And of course, the case. But came with a new bearing. Came with all new races and bearings, basically. Only thing it didn't come with is actual shaft bearings, but Today's Monday. I'm going to take the axle housing and shafts to the axle place on Thursday to get dropped off, to get narrowed. So I'm hoping they can replace them while they're there as well. So flange to flange, this housing is roughly 52.5 inches long, which is a lot more narrower than I thought it'd be. I still can't fit the wheels and tires I want to run. So no matter what, it's going to get narrowed. And even if I did want to run some fat, like 10-inch wide wheels with like 295s or 305s or 315s later down the line, I'm going to have to get it narrowed no matter what. But probably going to do about 1.125 inches off each side, because I say each side because the center section is not centered properly. It's kind of off centered. So you can't really just say, I want a full length of this. So I got to go in telling the guy, I want this off each side. That way it's equal, if that makes sense. Because then you have to jack with like leaf spring fitment and stuff like that. And that's too complicated for me right now. It's really not that complicated. I'm just lazy. But yes, that thing is going to the shop Thursday to get narrowed, to get fixed. So it should take about a couple weeks. Then I should get that back, painted all that. Then we can put it back in the car. So here's the posi track I got from Quick Performance. It is a Yukon brand. This is a true posi track. See the gears inside. Posi track uses gears, I believe, and a limited slip is more clutch driven, if that makes sense. And then a locker is a full spool. This is an open spool. I'm trying to see how to explain this. Open spool, one side, one axle shaft is the driving one, and the other one just kind of just spins freely. If that makes sense. Not really freely, but I guess sorta. While posi track, both wheels are turning at the same time. That's why you get two burnouts, or you get two tire burnouts and a one wheel peel. With the open, and with the posi track or limited slip, you get two tires burning rubber. I know someone's gonna try to correct me on that, and I probably did mess up on that. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Just know this two wheel burnouts, this one wheel burnout, and lame. That's all that's important information right now. If I told you that my plans did not go as planned, would you believe me? Probably. That's what happened to Post Customs Garage. Things just don't go your way. And with that being said, my whole axle, you can't see it, but let me lower this a little bit. They can maybe see it. There you go. My axle is stupid hard to try to find somebody that can cut the axle shafts and narrow an 8-inch in the Dallas Fort Worth area. You'd think there'd be so many places, but no one wants to do it. I've had a couple guys flake. So that's kind of where we're at with that. The only reason I am narrowing it, I can't remember if I said this in the video. I'm probably repeating myself, but you can hear it again. The only reason I'm narrowing it is so I can fit a little wider tire. Because I have 15x8s with 4-inch back spacing steel wheel on a 255/60. That's the only reason I'm narrowing it. Oh, there's a cicada stuck in here. Sorry. Anyway, that's why. So my buddy Mike at the Old Car Channel, his Fairlane is pretty cool. He has a stock 8-inch length, and he's running like a 245, 235, something like that, on like a 15x8, but it's all in the back spacing. So I have two options. A, try to cut this myself. B, I can change up my wheel and tire setup in the rear, which is probably what I'm gonna do, because I don't feel confident enough to cut this myself, and I can't go to an 8.8 or a 9-inch because I've already bought all the 8-inch parts. And can you imagine how hard it'd be to try to sell 8-inch parts in my area? Absolutely. It would be. I'd have to ship it somewhere on the Fairlane group. So probably gonna get a new wheel and tire set up for the rear. I'm thinking 15x6s. That cicada is loud. I don't know if y'all can hear that. There's a cicada stuck in here. It's loud. Probably go 15x6s in the rear, by like 28x8 tires. Because I think at 255 is like 10.3, 10 and some change inches wide. So I'll get 2 inches, and the back spacing of the wheel is only going to be, it won't be that back, it's only 6-inch wide wheel. Then I'm still going to do the 4.5 front runners, but I ain't got to worry about the fronts. So it sucks, but it is what it is. sometimes things just don't go your way, and you just gotta figure out how to solve the problem when you get hit with it. So funny enough, I had this spare Fairlane wheel that we made a old water hose stand out of, and I was like, you know what? I wonder what the stock 14-inch wheels are like what the width is. Check this out. 6 inches. I would keep the stock wheels for the rear, which I mean, this is just spare. I have the full 4 set, but I would keep the 4 inches for the rear. But finding 4-inch tires in like the pie crusts are pretty hard, so that's why I'm not doing that. But theoretically, a 15x6 should work, because the one on Summit was like 3.5 inch backspace, or 3 3/4 inch backspacing. Which I don't really know how to measure backspacing. I think it's from the back of here all the way to there, I believe. These tires that came off the rear, and they're 205 75 14s. So they're about 26 inches in diameter, then about 7.5 inches wide, maybe 7.25. So I'd be gaining 2 inches if I went 28x8s, 2 inches in height, then about 1/2 inch in width, give or take. Yeah. I could probably make that work. Just got back from Summit. Did not find any leaf spring shackles, but I did order them online. Did not find any bushings there. So all I really got was some sweet patina rust prevention stuff for the undercoating. So didn't get too much, but did get something for the next video. That way I can start doing undercoating on that. And I called the place and found a media blasting or powder coating shop, but they do media blasting. So my dad is gonna drop that off tomorrow, and hopefully I can have it by Monday. While that's at the shop, I'm going to start working on degreasing the third member parts, like the housing, the pinion cartridge right here, and what else? There's some other things I was gonna, and probably the yoke. The degreaser I'll be using today is Sweet Patina Get Gone. They are a local Texas company, so definitely check them out. I will drop a link to the website in the description below. Highly recommend a lot of the products. So we're just gonna spray this, let it soak for a little bit in the sun, then whip out the power washer and clean her up. As you can see, I'm a little wet, just a tad bit. Got the majority of it off. We have a steam cleaner at work that's hot water and sprays degreaser at the same time. So I'm gonna take it to work tomorrow, see if I can get a little bit more of it off. But the orange, the OEM orange color, is starting to come back. So I kind of want to paint the OEM orange color. I haven't decided yet. I may just paint it black. I don't really care, but I kind of like to do the orange color. So we'll see. Not too bad. There's that orange color. Still a little grimy and gooey, but better than what it was before, that's for sure. Back in the shop, Dad dropped off the axle this morning to get media blasted, and while he was there, he's like, hey, let's get it powder coated. He's spending my money, so he's spending money that's not his, but I guess I'm gonna max powder coated black, so that's gonna be there for about a week. And at work, I cleaned up the pinion support / cartridge, got that all cleaned up. Got red primer paint on the way, so that'll be sweet. The third member, whole housing, center section will be, you know, the red oxidized primer, which will look very classic, which is what I'm going for. Very excited about that. So for the most part, everything is cleaned. That's clean for the most part, except for the outside. I need to do a little bit of more sanding and stuff, but I'll do that before I install everything. But that's clean. The spool, the ring and pinion doesn't really matter because I got Polystrack and the new ring and pinion. But I just got to sandblast the yoke, but we don't have any sand. Getting that tomorrow. But yeah, came apart pretty easily. Nothing too damaged, which I am very happy about. Not that I think there would be anything damaged because it only had a 3.0 gear. So it's not like this person or my uncle was doing any burnouts or anything with a 3.0 gear. But yeah, pretty stoked. I'm not going to be installing anything in this video. I can't remember if I said that at the beginning of the video, if I was going to do a 2-part video, but well, I am now. And by the title, you'll kind of figure out it's going to be 2 parts. But did get a lot of stuff done, which in my eyes, if we get a lot of stuff done in the video, that means that video was a success. We actually made progress. Leaf springs and the brackets that go The front brackets still need to be sanded and all that, but I'll do that tomorrow. Like I said, I got to get more sand for the sandblaster. So other than that, when I paint that black, I get the axle back, we should be able to start the prepping under the car for the Sweet Patina rust prevention stuff. I will show you all right here. This awesome undercoating. This is the undercoating I'm running on the bottom of the car. Very, very excited to use that product. You can spray it, paintbrush it, or roll it, kind of like a wall inside of a house, which that's what I'm going to do, is roll it, because better coverage and more control of where the paint goes, if that makes sense. I'm kind of lazy and I don't really want to tape off everything and spray and stuff like that, so, or mix with, or worry about reducers and all that. So that's why I'm just going to roll it, because it's easy. So be on the lookout for that video. The next video should be us installing everything and completing the whole actual rebuild. Then the next video after that should be, you know, doing the undercoating. Then hopefully next video after that is installing the rear end back in and moving towards the front of the car, which towards the front of the car means that motor's going in. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot, all the positive feedback I've gotten for this car and the Facebook groups, the comments and everything. It truly does mean a lot. This is one of my bucket list cars, and I'm very blessed and very happy that I can be in a spot to build this car at 19. Not a lot of people can say that, and I'm grateful every day for it. And as you see in this video, you'll kind of see I got a little repetitive, or I said, I'm sorry for what I said, I'm a little tired. You may say, Will, why don't you just cut that out? But I want to be very raw on this channel. Some days, you know, I don't really want to be in the shop. I'm tired after work and all that. But at the end of the day, dreams aren't going to really make themselves. You know what I mean? They say the 9 to 5 is pay the bills. The 5 to 11 is to build the empire. So some days you just got to put your head down and get to work. No matter how you feel or anything, if you got dreams, go accomplish them. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Peace out.